We turn now to today's landmark decision on gay rights from the U.S. Supreme Court, coming right in the middle of Pride Month, saying federal law protects LGBTQ Americans from discrimination at work. Here's ABC's Devin Dwyer.
A sweeping opinion for gay rights written by one of the Supreme Court's most conservative justices, Neil Gorsuch, who was appointed by President Trump to replace the late Antonin Scalia, calling employment discrimination against LGBTQ people a simple case, writing an employer who fires an individual merely for being gay or transgender defies the law. That law, Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, bans discrimination on the basis of race, religion, national origin, and sex. Gorsuch saying sex plays a necessary and undisguisable role when someone is fired over sexual orientation or gender identity, adding it's exactly what Title VII forbids. Chief Justice John Roberts and the court's 4 liberal justices joined with Gorsuch, making it a 6-3 decision, the most significant for LGBTQ rights since same-sex marriage was legalized in 2015. In dissent, Justice Samuel Alito accused the court of making law rather than interpreting it, writing that Congress in 1964 indisputably did not decide whether or not to outlaw discrimination against LGBTQ people. Justice Brett Kavanaugh saying he supports gay and lesbian Americans, but that Title VII does not mention the words sexual orientation.
When it comes to Chief Justice Roberts, but especially Justice Gorsuch, I think that their votes in this case are just evidence that presidents don't control the votes of their Supreme Court appointees. It's not totally clear what comes next, but that the court has, in general, has a very strong track record in protecting and promoting gay rights under the law.
What do we want? Equality! When do we want it? Now!
Before today, it was still technically legal in more than half the country to fire someone explicitly because of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Just 21 states have enacted protections. Gerald Bostock of Georgia, one of the plaintiffs before the Supreme Court, says he was fired as a child welfare services coordinator after his boss learned he joined a gay softball league.
I was devastated. Imagine having a job you loved and that you were great at and successful at, and having that taken away from you.
Clayton County, Georgia, Bostock's employer accused him of unspecified, unbecoming conduct.
I didn't do anything wrong, and I didn't do anything differently from the time before I had joined the softball league to the time after I joined.
In New York, skydiving instructor Donald Zarda alleged discrimination too, fired in 2010 after a customer complained that Zarda revealed during a jump that he was gay. The company says it dumped Zarda for sharing inappropriate personal information, but Zarda's sister, now pursuing the case after her brother's death in 2014, says sexual orientation was the issue.
Don was so devastated when he was fired. He wanted to make sure that other people didn't suffer the same discrimination.
The justice is also deciding the case of Amy Stevens, a transgender funeral director in Detroit, who was fired after telling her employer in 2013 that she was transitioning. Her boss said she violated the dress code, even though she was dressed professionally as a woman. I spoke to Stevens late last year.
It must have been devastating.
It was, but it got me mad enough to do something about it.
Stevens passed away last month before the court could rule on her case. She's now an inspiration to many LGBTQ Americans as the fight for justice and equality on the job goes on.
And Devin Dwyer joins us now live. And Devin, this is certainly a historic moment. The Trump administration sided with employers who claim that federal law does not protect LGBTQ workers from discrimination. So how did the president respond to today's ruling?
Well, Lindsay, first, a truly historic moment for the 11 million Americans who identify as LGBTQ. And I got to tell you, normally after a day like this, we would see a huge rally out here in the plaza of the United States Supreme Court. You can see it's pretty empty right now, thanks to the pandemic and social distancing. As for the president, pretty muted response today. He was asked about these decisions. He says they've ruled. We will live with that decision. The president did call it a very powerful decision, but no doubt a big disappointment to him and to social conservatives, Lindsay, especially because this decision came from someone the president himself appointed, Neil Gorsuch.
And prior to today, some states already had laws that made it illegal to discriminate against gay or transgender employees. So what new protections does this give the LGBTQ community? And what happens next in Gerald Bostock's case? I mean, he's the only living plaintiff.
Yeah, he's the only one surviving. He's going to get to fight his claims in court. But, you know, for a lot of people, a lot of Americans, they didn't even know that it was still legal to discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. A big deal. Only 21 states had banned it, as we said there in the piece. So this is a sweeping decision. Protections expanded. There's no ambiguity here. And Gerald Bostock will have to take his claims, which are still allegations at this point, before a judge. But now he'll have the law on his side that it's illegal for employers to discriminate if, in fact, they did in his case.
Hey, Devin, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.